Uh, So had empty full autoing, hopefully. I think I should be able to full out, but I guess we'll see. Derek, how's it going? Welcome in. Uh, remember to yeah, I already looked at the score. We're getting dumpstered by whatever team this is. But it's fine. I was able to get a decent amount of honors. I think I should like what is I think we have like what 2 more days? Yeah. Oh wait, no, fuck. That's today and then round 4 and then shit. I won't get enough. Oh well. I'll get the skin next time. I don't think I'm I don't think I'm in the mood to farm another 70 million honors in like between today and tomorrow. I guess we'll see how many we can get. This depends on how well we can full auto. Did 150 and 200 for crystals retired from the worst helmet? Mode. Mode. That was almost bad. Keep forgetting that you need to turn it on. Okay. I feel like for Nightmare 90 we should be okay. Nightmare 95 might be where it's a little tricky. Pretty bad without a bunch of dispels. Oh. Like, is it enough buffs to proc the the effect from Palmal? Okay, yeah, no. We able to handle Nightmare 95 for sure. Auto. I knew it. It'll do it for each difficulty. Because I feel like if it's dispels, I could probably just run my normal team that I was running before, right? Because it's like MC on Relic Buster with the Brutal Cells with Magus. I usually don't need like too many more dispels after that. That's not, that sucks. It pushed it with the trigger, so it's not gonna proc. I won't be able to use. Oh, there's the thing. Cha-cha slide. Wait, does she clear? Oh, she clears her debuffs, doesn't she? That's unfortunate. And it doesn't matter though, so. Actually, 900 and 2,000 for that is pretty. 912. Like, I would say that was fairly smooth for a full auto. So you can just do that. I don't know, who knows? We'll see. Maybe we do get the skin. Yeah, because I was thinking was that like I could probably just what should we call it? Do a little bit of meat farming when I eat dinner. So that way it's like I can get some like meat stacks and stuff like that. And save. If gets a couple of buffs on every special attack. Not sure. Commons were dodge and fix damage. I think Hummel needs a decent amount for the trigger. I think it's like 6 plus. Five or more buffs. Activates her 3. I've been seeing a lot of people using Dark Angel Olivia in their setups, which I had been considering to swap in uh for Summer Magus if like 95 for some reason wasn't like clearable on full auto. Also been seeing a bunch of people use Orchid, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna whip her back out again. Orchid was like, oh, Orchid was so good when when I was using her. Cause I think I got her like just before her full limit break, and she just carried the crap out of my team. Uh, yeah, cause like Halma's dispels like it's a lot. Like she can dispel up to 5, but it's like a 10 turn cooldown. Meanwhile, Black Knights is 7 turns, and I think oh no, it just activates twice. Double or triple strike. But just so, yeah, that's a mid. That's a mid. Yeah. As soon as those arrows pop up, it's like dispel. Get out of my house. Get out of my house and stay out. Bro, you weren't kidding about that zoom though. It's like we know what you want. We zoom here, we zoom there. I'm like, you degenerates. Look what you've done, Grand Blue players. Meanwhile, who knows how many of them are like licking their screens. I was seeing a lot of people talking about wanting Mars to be playable again when they announced the best set was like the light element boss. They're like, "Where's our playable Mars? We got a Kate. Where's Mars?" And now there's probably gonna be people clamoring for best set to be playable. To be fair though, I see like the possibility for her to turn into like a summon and a playable character like Heke more than Mars did. I mean, though to be fair, like still, I'd rather have like Guild Wars bosses turn playable and over getting like random new characters out of nowhere because their designs are really good. But that's kind of like the thing that always like I find weird is like Granblue has a lot of really good designs with like bosses and stuff to turn into playable characters, but then they just make like random characters instead. Respectable, respectable. Uh, respect. I got that character. Honestly, Fiorita already exists as a playable character, so I'm pretty content. If they ever give Sabrina like a summer version and she's not built like Fiorita, I'm going to cry. Who cares? Because the fact that Alex wasn't built like her in her summer version makes me sad. I'm like, there's no way Alex of all characters does not have like a fucking six pack. Cannot convince me. Cannot convince me of that at all whatsoever. Also, I really hope that there's a character I wanted to be playable from the one of the previous events. The girl that Cuptain's like friends with, the giraffe that wields the vintage axe. Like I hope she becomes playable. Like a playable character in the future. Like Rosago. I think we're still looking for her, right? I liked her design. Wait, did that? I don't remember that. I just remember we like this is Sparta that one dude off the edge. The knife guy. we kind of. I don't remember any of that. I don't, to be fair, I don't really pay attention to the story. But I just, I really didn't pay attention at all to that one. I don't know. As long as they make that draft girl playable at some point, I'll be happy. Also, I really hope they add like a strong fist weapon for Magna at some point, so I can use Fiorito more. I really don't like when they like do characters with passives that are based off of how many like weapon type users are in your party or how many whatchamacallit, um how many weapons are in a grid. Because like a lot of times they choose weird ones. And then sometimes it just makes characters hard to play if you're like free to play. Because like for instance, like Renheiser, right? He was a lot easier to play in Primal than he was in Magna because he scaled off of like melee stuff and like encounters. I think it was just like the raw damage just wasn't there from Magna. Like it was mostly just used for like his gimmick where he could just like take all the hits. To be fair, that's someone who I think needs to get reworked. I think that's a Grand that never really like he saw some niche usages, and I remember there was a couple Guild Wars that he was used in at the higher levels because his like special stance was really good. But like all in all, for a character that I was really excited for to get a Grand version, I was kind of underwhelmed by his state of being. Because I his SR like because he looks cool. He's like I think he's like one of the him and like Vasaraga I think are like the only two male like drafts I care about because they look cool to me. Like I really like their designs, but like even though it's also really funny to me that his design has like him, he has like a big ass like sword knife thing on his back, but he never uses it. He just punches people. But like I really liked his design, and then I was kind of excited when they was like he's a Grand. And then I was less excited when they were like, he's kind of weird. I was like, oh, no. And I feel like they kind of just forgot he exists. Yeah, for melee specialty allies. I mean, I guess technically you could kind of pair him up with is Wilderness melee? I know Wilderness is axe. Yeah, he's axe melee. But I feel like if that was like doable, then people would have paired them up in a while. Because I was just looking at. I forgot that he had a passive where he gains 5% charge bar when an ally counters, and wellness will generally counter as long as he doesn't have a shield out. I don't know. I think he's probably due for a rework of some sort. I just want them to take away. Like I just really hope they kind of like. I think they haven't really done too many recently. Like for characters, like I do know there were some people that were kind of disappointed that they doubled down on the sword katana scaling for sword master instead of like for the ultimate mastery stuff instead of just like leaning towards the sword energy direction, which I can kind of concur with that. But it's just weird. Yeah. Well, she's alive, so as long as she's alive, that means that she'll eventually become playable. Copium. Copium. Who's that other one? The Earth one. That Earth lady. What's her name? I think she's another one that her grand I didn't really see a whole lot of use. Name of that one lady. She's like attached to Pain. Her name escapes me. Leona, there we go. That's definitely a character I'd like to see used more because I have her Yukata version too. She has really nice skins, like really nice sprites. But she was another one that I heard that she was kind of weird. I think she's like pretty good for a bit, and then she like fell off, kind of weird. Or was it the case that she was better in like I think it was, no I think her case was that she was better in like a what you call it in a primal setup than she was in a Magna setup because primal had at the time had decent like crit weapons to put in, so that way she could have a proper passive. I don't know. There's definitely a couple. Well, actually, there's a lot of grunts that could use an uncap and a bit of a rebalancer. I'm still kind of surprised that they uh uncapped the character they uncapped for this month over basically literally anybody else. I think I would have been less surprised if they had uncapped like Tanya or something. I mean, it's a. I feel like it's the right call though, because you know they took a character that basically had no use and made him. From what I understand, his kit's pretty good. It's just that he's in dark, so you know, kind of kind of hard to slot him in some places. Oh, Mag is dead. I will say I was looking forward to using Shield Sworn, but for these easy fights, like since I have the staff from Xeno Diablos, like I feel like it's a waste not to use it. Especially considering that since I don't have a good dark gun or axe made that I can use, because I don't have the proving ground gun and I don't have the gold moon axe, like it feels kind of a waste to just try to brute force the shield sworn into it. Oh yeah, yeah. See that second part I remember, where just got taken away. I didn't remember that first part, but I remember we like she wasn't with us like at the end. Oh, I should try a full auto run with fancy schmancy pants. Yeah, I think I'll try how it feels like a run with fancy pants because I haven't used them at all. It was so hard to try to find like videos of people using what's this? I don't even remember his name. The uncap for this month because all of them was just people showing off Gorologio, the new Dark Grand. Everybody was there's just videos of that everywhere. Oh, this run's kind of scuffed. I was gonna bubs it. Alright. I want to try. I have to do the. I think it should be fine. He's level 95, 96 even. His EMPs are kind of shit though. Well, then again, I think he's a bit, like he is supposed to be a healer, so there's that. Yeah, see, I remember more of like the second part of that than I did like the other stuff. I guess. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I remember more about like the Fiorito stuff, considering that he's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, some of the story and some of the events gets kind of wild. Kind of ironic that Lich is gonna like Ogi here because it doesn't really do much. Oh, not to mention it's not even gonna go off because of the single attack. They're making me cry. The dispel missed? What? How does a dispel miss? Oh, is it because of? Wait, what's causing the? Why is the? Why is the dispel missing? That's so weird. Like that's so weird. I don't think I've ever seen. Is that why she was dodging the? Well, yeah, but I've never seen Bubs miss, even with even when someone has like veil, right? Like I've always seen Bubs always take the veil off because I think Bubs' dispel is like guaranteed, unless it's like a special thing. Oh, I meant to. So no. But that's why I was surprised. I was like, all right, Lich is dispel, sure, but Bubs, like I've never seen Bubs dispel miss on anything that wasn't like a unique buff or something. I'm just assuming that she like dodged it then. Because that's usually my go-to whenever there's like a veil up. Is I just bubs it, and it generally like makes it not a problem. Oh yeah, it's just yeah. That's it. It's that. Oh wow, that is fun. I guess they learned from what was it the wasn't it the rabbit that had the really high dodges, so he just brought a bunch of dispels to deal with it. I guess they just were like, all right, fuck it, we ball. Now it dodges debuffs too. Yeah, no, I need to put Summer Magus back. Yeah, because it dodged that. Yeah, it's just okay. Yeah, no, it like it completely dodged even. Yeah, no, that's what's happening. He's dodging the Bubs cast on that, bruh. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that they've done like that twice in a row, right? Where it's like the they're like, yeah, let's just add a crazy dodge to the boss. Kind of annoys me a little bit. That was like fully dealt with fight action. These daggers? No, they're katanas. Damn, if I had one more like decent katana. The big issue is that I think if these two were gloves, it would be fine. Oh well, that's what it is. I was way too lazy to farm that for this though. The fight was definitely smoother with Summer Magus though. The extra spells. Hmm. Yeah, so they gave her dodge damage and debuffs. Yeah, so that's what it is. That's what's causing the problems because she's dodging the bubs. Because of I learned once that if bubs doesn't hit, then the dispel doesn't go off at all. Dodge hides behind like yeah, yeah. I'm thinking they did the same thing with the rabbit. Like they, I know actually that makes me kind of disappointed because in a way that means they just copied the rabbit fight because I remember that was a big complaint everybody had with the rabbit from the last Guild War was that the dodge was like locked behind like five different things and it was just like it was a pain. It was such a pain. Yeah, no, this is like way nicer with Summer Magus. If only Summer Magus didn't slowly murder herself, she would literally be probably one of the most busted characters in this game. I'd say that's probably the thing that holds Summer Magus back the most. Is she ends her own suffering. And she's like, I don't want to grind anymore. Ceases to exist. Oh, yep. I mean, we're already up to 14,000, and we haven't even done a full hour yet. I think we're looking pretty good. We might be able to get the skin for the next 2 days. Over the next two, between today and tomorrow, maybe. That'd be nice. I really like the skin. The skin looks really nice. Now I'm just scared what like the second stage requirement like is gonna be. Definitely been upcoming summer character. One of the diviners is summer variants before a normal version. That'd be pretty thing. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they pulled that maneuver, but it would be the first time that like an entire series of characters had that. Because Helmau, right? I'm thinking we got the summer version before we got the right like the grand version. Oh yeah, it hit that time. So I mean, it'd be interesting, I guess, to see an entire line of characters do that. Then, because they could probably then sprinkle them all in, right, with like Halloween, Christmas for some of the other ones. Like I feel, what's his face, Birdman could be a pretty decent like Halloween unit. As in, like, I feel like he'd be easy to Bennett. I feel like he'd be a pretty easy like convert to like a Halloween version. Probably do Raw for Christmas. Fits her peppy attitude. Bruh, that dodge proc is like it makes me angry every time I see it go off. Like, fucking stop it! Stop dodging, bitch! Take it like a cat. I forgot in the last Rise of the Beast that I wanted to. Man, Like I'm still not back in the full swing of like, hey, let me play Grand Blue like every night. But I'm kind of sad that uh, I forgot that I wanted to work towards getting the Earth Tiger skin for from Rise of the Beast. Mm-mm. To be fair, part of it is also from the fact that like it's taking me forever to just be like full auto my life away. Full auto set me free. I don't know why. Like for the longest time, I was just like, "There's no way my teams are strong enough to full auto anything." But that's not true, especially when I consider the fact that most of the times most of the content I do, I just literally click the like all of the skills on cooldown like 90% of the time anyway. Honestly, like I think aside from like this is excluding the actual like hard raids for at least for my grids for like so like the Revan raids and stuff like that. But like I think there's only a couple of the 6 dragon raids that I just don't push things on cooldown. Like to the point where like there's a couple where like full auto would kind of mess me up because the order of the skills that have to be cast is kind of off. But just before clicking, yeah, like it's like habit, right? Like I went so long before like full auto was even a thing that I'm just so used to always clicking everything. And it's just like it feels weird not to click things, though. It's not so bad when it's like something like this, right? Because it's not so bad when it's like the raids. When it's just like I do my 2 to 3 raids and then I move to the next one and stuff like that, and I'm moving like characters and stuff. Like it's fine, but having to do it over and over again on like Guild Wars is a bit much. Like on a in content that I'm just like trying to get it done. That's a much. That's a little much. I forgot how many honors you get for doing 95. Guild Wars is another one where I always forget like to reassess the strengths of my grids because I've been slow. Like the Guild Wars that I grinded a bunch of, I was my grids were always so weak, and like that's always just been stuck. And then I keep forgetting to like reassess the strength of my grids, and it's just like, like my grids right now, like there's no this. It's not even a question. They're like way stronger than they were in the past. I think probably my fire grid was the only one that I was like, oh yeah, this one's pumping. Like all my other grids, I'm like there's touch. But I always forget that like I need to like reassess it. Yeah, I forget how big of an honor spike it is from doing like meat farming, like doing the actual fights. It's like, bro, it's like what is it? It's like more than 10 times the points. For honors? No, 95 is giving me 900,000 points. Like it's a lot. I think 90 is like probably around 450 to 500. But 95, I'm getting like 912,000 points right now per run. And I haven't done the 100 yet because I kind of just feel like full autoing this. And 900, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to like. I'm pretty sure with 900, I have to actually like build a proper team and not just full auto. Giraffe. Bro, thankfully, thankfully you did that with like honors, bro. I'd hate to do that with like money. Like I just dropped a zero, bro. I'd be in tears. It's like when someone puts something up in an auction house in an MMO and they forget a zero at the end, and then they don't pull it. They either forget, like, don't realize, and they walk away, or before they can pull it like back, the it gets bought. Bro, I'd be crying. I had a friend who did that once, and he was in tears. He lost a bunch of gold because of that. Um, I guess it doesn't tell me. I I like was never really big on the auction house like for selling stuff. But I had friends who were, and so every time I would hear their horror stories about they forgetting like a zero at the end and losing money, I'd always like quadruple check that the number was right before I posted it. 90s over three times the honest for fight. Yeah, yeah. I think like with the chest of good fortune though, like I don't know. I know like a lot of people farm 90 for the celestial weapon chance, but like I think if you're not copium farming that and not just well, if you're not either copium farming it or like literally going that all day every day from like when Guild War starts to when Guild War ends, I don't think it's worth over farming 95 personally. Because 95 gives you a chance at the chest. But that's kind of my personal opinion on it. Because I'd rather just get the chest more than anything else. For the skin, to be fair, like the skin, I feel like I don't really include that in it. Like 90, I definitely think is probably like the most efficient for getting stuff done since it gives so many honors compared to meat farming, and it takes like five. So you can get a lot, but like I think in general, like I at least for me, I think I'm better off doing 95 because I'm doing it more for building for getting this. Like I care about getting this by trying to get the extra chances for this with the boxes. Because like for sure, if I was doing Nightmare 90, I could probably like I could probably just use my strike time thing for it. Like I could definitely like well, I mean this team one turned it. Like I could definitely reduce the amount of clicks and kill it. But I really want those. I want those chests of good fortune. I think like once you hit the cap, then it's probably worth to go to Nightmare 90. Since you can only get like 60 per, right? So once you get like if you're someone who grinds a lot, if you get like the 60 per, like you get your 60, then you go to Nightmare 90 and just no life that. Also, like, I have Icarus, but it's so hard to like field them in my teams because like one of my back slots is obviously taken by Michael if she's not used in the front slot, and Icarus is definitely not a front slot character since he's like gotcha evoker. He just comes in at full strength. But then with Chicheries, like, I still don't like that they made the Saints passive for buffing Magna stuff stack the with the buffs from the Primarchs. I actually think that was a bad idea, personally. Especially considering like, you know, there's other there's other characters that like have passives that don't stack with each other. Like I don't like that those stack. And I kind of hope they change that. I mean, to be fair, part of it is also like when you hit like when you hard hit cap, then there's really like it doesn't really matter too much. But like for instance, my grid's like at a point where having both Michael and Chichiri's passives active is definitely a decent little bump in damage. But shrugs. To be fair, I haven't seen a lot of lineups that use both of them, so it's probably not as big of a deal. Especially because like there's some pretty decently hard caps for damage and stuff, and especially because like in certain raids, like damage is capped at numbers, so it probably doesn't really matter in the long run. I might have in the back two slots always taken by the same people for only. Well, like it's not. I don't generally mind like the back two slots being taken, right? Because like for the longest time, my back two slots. Well, for the longest time, Tian was in my back slot for basically every element, but especially for fire because of the passive bonus for loot. And then Frau was in there just because, you know, if the fight goes to shit, I get an evoker to pop in. And like, but the problem is, it's just like then you have that, right? Where it's just like right now, depending on the element you're in, there's like different things. Like for instance, like say you like say I had Frau uncapped, right? I would then want to use her as like an actual offensive character. Like say I had Frau and then say I had Ragazzo. Well, technically I already lost one back slot that I can use because you don't really play Frau in the front line because you want her, you know, back to frontline passive active because it's really strong. So like I just mean in that sense, like it kind of like makes it a bit of a pain sometimes to like set up teams. Like again, to be fair, I could just not use like Chichery because I think Chichery's passive is a little weaker. Or is it the same amount? Michael's is 20. Yeah, it's like half. And Michael's technically like because like Primal doesn't have the problem because Primal it's just because Chichery only affects the Magna versions. But I don't know. Like I mean it's only 10%, right? So it doesn't really do much. And like Michael's is better because she buffs everything. But it's just like I don't know. I don't like when like passives like that stack because it's the case of like because like the Saints are grindable, right? Like they're achievable. Like you don't have to gotcha for them. So like that's why I feel like it's like kind of weird that they stack because then it kind of makes makes sense for a step up where it's just like a highest value takes effect. Because it's like, well, if you have if you have Chichiri, you use her, and then when you get Michael from the gacha, if you spark Michael, then you just put in Michael. Because at least for Chichiri specifically, like especially because a lot of raids, like especially like higher raids, have they resist stuff like the like stuff like duress and like don't like petrify and a lot of stuff like that. Like she has way lower value in my opinion than Michael. Like Michael's just a step up better character in general, but that's more of just like a personal thing. It becomes strong. Yeah, we're just gonna add 20% to that for full on break. I mean, to be fair, with how long it'll be, it's like they go, all right, Primarch's full and break at level like 95. Their passive goes from 20 to 40%, and then like for the Saints, they just like triple it from like 10 to fucking 30%. I don't know. That'd be funny. Just like passive power creep for everybody. I don't know. I don't know. Usually, I'm not a big fan of these types of like passive boosts either, though. Like that affect your grid from a character standpoint, because I feel like it gets fucky with the numbers at the higher end. The only reason I think it works in Grand Blue is again because of the caps that they enforce in like the content. And that's probably the only real reason it's not a problem. Is because unlike a lot of other gotcha games, like Grand Blue's like, no, you're only gonna deal this much damage in these fights. So it's not like that big of a deal. Especially considering that a lot of the power really not right now comes well, depending on the element you're in. But there's a lot of power locked into the MC classes at the moment, so a lot of them like don't even see the difference. I don't know. All I know is that they need to stop giving my like characters I like weird passives that then make them kind of meh. That's to be honest, that's my main gripe with the passives where it's like X amount of weapons or buffs to like X weapon specialty characters. I just want to put Fiorito in all my teams, and but like she's honestly like kind of lackluster without the without her without the melee passes. I think I think I was reading she need like you need minimum 3 like if you want to use her. That in reality you want all 5 because you want all of the bonuses. Actually, no, you want at least 4 because that's a 20% boost to damage cap locked behind the 4th one. Like if they had reshuffled it around, I don't think I'd care too much, right? Like if 1, 2, 3 was 1 melee weapon gives attack boost, 2 melee weapons gives damage cap, 3 melee weapons gives the bonus earth damage effect. At 4 you get multi attack, and then at 5 you get 100% boost to defense. It'd probably be more manageable. But they obviously locked the good stuff between having more melee weapons in your grid. and an element that doesn't generally pack a lot of melee weapons in its grid. I mean, I guess you can kind of now because you have the Uriel Fist for Primal, but I don't know. I don't like it when they do passives like that because then it means that that character's like worth gets phased in and out based on what you call it on like grid meta instead of like the actual character. Which to be fair, I mean like there's other characters also get phased in and out based on grid meta, but still, I think it's like easier for like say a character that does a lot of skill damage to be able to make a comeback if like for instance temperings get added or if like excelsiors and like like it's a bit easier when it's attached to the skill of the weapon rather than the weapon type, especially because sometimes Grand Blue like when they release weapons for like even for Primal they miss the mark a couple times pretty badly. Oh, I think it's also part of the reason why I get more excited when they release like MC skins over classes. Cause then I'm like, yeah, baby. Like my MC look cool. Makeup look cool. Cause like Shield Sword, I was like, bro, that looks pretty cool. And then but that was also weird because like, bro, if it's bad, I'm not gonna use it. It's not gonna look cool. No matter how cool it looks, if I can't use it. Looking at you, Berserker, when Berserker fell out of the meta for a decent amount of time. I was like, no, no. But that was okay because then I had Lumberjack to save my aching, breaking heart. I'm trying to think of what would be a decent replacement for. It's just because I don't have like. I'm starting to think that um, like Yukata Ilsa, like she's good, but I don't think she's like that good if you don't have like death lined up, so that way you can give her like two. Oh wow, when it was first released, it was just so good, basically. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I got it, like I definitely went into it, like because I was like, "Ooh, cool, animals," and like I like the design of it, and then like using it, it was everybody's like, "This class is busted." It was so strong. Yeah, it also helped me like clear and be able to actually like participate in like a good amount of raids. which was really nice. It was definitely a really solid class. I'm still waiting for Grand Vasaraga though. I need Grand Vasaraga and I need him to be absolutely broken. So that way my heart can be at peace. Also, I still don't understand why field effects can't be full autoed. At the very least, ones like Fedial that can't be recast. Like, I'm kind of confused why they don't let that be full autoed. That's the only reason I don't have Fedial. That's actually the main reason that Fedial is not in here is because I'm too lazy to click one button. Honestly, I'm just too lazy to click that single button. I think I should just replace her with Olivia. Honestly, because it'll at least like delay her, probably at least like two of her triggers. And I don't have Akala, unfortunately. Literally the only Zodiac I don't have. Also, didn't realize that her Earth version uses like a spear and a sprite. Hmm. Phoenix, thanks for the resub. How have you been? How's the weather going? Hopefully, it hasn't been too hot. Right, Archangel. But yeah, where is she? There's no issues on page 3, right? Oh, she has. Wow, she was one. Wow, she was one of my first dark characters. I didn't remember. I didn't realize that. What's up, Zephyr? How's the day going? I did not realize that I'd had it for that long. I'm good, just chilling for Phoenix, please, let's sleep time. Let's sleep time. We've improved enemy spawn logic and excavation missions to decrease the wait time between completing excavators. This addresses the player reported issues that it often take far too long for enemies to spawn one excavator to another. Bro, I mean, there was like a handful of missions where it wasn't like that big of a deal, but that's good. To be honest, like that was way overdue. I don't know why it took him so long to change that. Cause like, what is it? Some of the event missions that had excavators, like they weren't like that bad. Like the spawns were pretty, like they were fine, but there was definitely a lot of them. It was a bit of a pain when you were moving to another one. That's good. Like, oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, you been playing any games recently? Any like doing any gamering? Oh, also, I haven't said it during the night stream though, in case people don't know. The Discord is now open, so if you want to join, exclamation point Discord, or you can just scroll down. It's also linked down. So if you want to just like hey, hop in. The update also lets you change mods for mission maps. You don't have to. Oh, thank you. I be yapping because Vic, you dumb, so I have to yap to teach you things. So you got to learn some stuff. AKA, join the Discord, Vic. Hurry up, chop chop. What's up, Vic? How's it going? Bit of Far Cry 6 earlier. I'm just running Underworld Idol background. Underworld Idol. What's that? What's that do? I've been like debating on what should we call it? On trying to get like an idol or something because I might try to do some like learn me some stuff streams. Okay, this was definitely not as good as just running Orchid, but I don't know like what to run while I'm doing it. So I was thinking about getting an idol one to do it. What do you get if you join? You get the right to not have to suffer from a knuckle sandwich. Shit. I was gonna bubs it. No, I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen, which is why I wanted to bubs that turn because MC was so close to dying. All right, so Orchid is definitely the way to go. I thought Dark Angel, like Olivia, would be fine, but guess not. And I don't have any other revive potions. I guess Orchid's like buff was actually worth. Only bro, I forgot that was in there. I didn't remember that Jade had put that. I don't even know well, the context has to be Apex because I'm like 90% sure it was probably me talking about needing a helmet. But like a lot of people I knew, especially when I first started playing Apex, referred to like the helmet's like head. I'd be like, I need purple head. And so I just got used to it. Like, you know, like I know it's Apex related. It's the only game that I would have said that. Like it's literally the only game that I would have said anything like that. I thought like, I looked at it and I have to bait it on it. I was like, should I leave that in there? But I left it because it was funny. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, even like, bro, the amount of times I'll run around in like Apex and you just can't find a fucking helmet, like even just a blue one. I'm like, bro, what am I supposed to do with this like newspaper hat that I have on my head when I'm getting shot with 50 cows? You entered? All right, time to ban Vic. Speedrun banning. Speedrun the bannage. You dare? You know, the last time you dared me to do something, Vic, I actually did it. But I'll be nice this time. You don't remember? It's okay. I do. Both you and Zephy like challenged me to ban you. And it was really funny when you both were like surprised Pikachu face because I banned you. I think Vic is the only person who's been timed out and banned in my chat. I think Zephy I only timed out. I don't know. Did I ban Zephy? I might have banned Zephy. That boy get rambunctious sometimes. Dude, I'm pretty sure it's like I don't remember how to look it up. I'm pretty sure there's a way I can see mod actions. you've been banned twice. You were banned by Squiddy and then you were banned by me. And it was like it was pretty funny. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, no, Vic decides to like try to like do that a good number of times. It just cracks me up to see that there was that you have been banned twice. That shit's funny. It was so dark. You're fine, Zephyr. It built character. It's called but I don't know, it was a while ago. That was like oh that's funny. It cracks me up. It was like 2 years ago. Yeah. I think you called him Sussy or something like that. Oh, that was funny. Like I thought you had been timed out before, but well, let me see. Was Zephy? Did I ban him? Oh no, Zephy's been timed out. That's what it is. I couldn't remember if I had like timed out or banned Zephy. You do? Because I sure as hell don't. I don't know what I timed you out for. Remember I'd like a band count or something. That's dedication to the cause, Vic. Yep, that'll do it. That'll time you up. Wait, did you say it or did you redeem it? I don't remember. Like that, I don't remember. That's definitely one way to get timed out. Hey, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It taught you an important life lesson. Yeah, no, I think he redeemed it. Like I'm pretty sure that's why. Because I think if you had just said it, I would have just been like, "Shut up, Zephyr." But yeah, I'm like 90% sure you like redeemed choose character and picked it. It was funny. Yeah, I was like, you know what? He's suffered enough. Well, I think the real reason I did it, I untimed you out was because it was like 600 seconds. I was like, all right, 600 seconds is a bit much. Never redeemed a timeout on the channel. Almost every channel you have. Well, I mean, you don't have that many here, Vic. I don't think I've ever timed you out. You've just been banned. We went straight to the strong one. You didn't get the corner. You got thrown out the door, and then we opened the door and be like, all right, you can get back in. Time to change that though. You'll be alright. That wasn't gone. I'm telling you, sometimes it's gone like the first couple minutes, and sometimes it's like it's free real estate all stream. People just don't check. I think Slinkster is the only one who tends to check like on a consistent basis to see if anybody's taking it or not. You could ask for a timeout. You see, the problem though is that Vic wants to be timed out. So the best thing to do is not time him out. You can't give someone like Vic what they want. Oh fuck, really? Just do it, man. See, now I want to do it even less. That's not helping your case, Vic. You dodged it. You okay, but you didn't dodge the dispel. Get fucked. All is right with the world. Vic, you've never said I was pog in chat like a single time. That's how I know you're lying. Also true. No pogs here, only bears. Well, technically kind of pogs. We got the chunk pogs. Pog chunks. Especially that's the Vic, I know. Any bear is better than not a bear. You know, everybody says that until bears go dumpster diving, and then everybody's like, "Oh shit, it's a bear. Why is it here?" Double standards. All fun and games till we try to get a snack out of the garbage can. And everybody's like angry. Or when we try to get like a Kit Kat bar from the from the gas station. That cracked me up. Oh, bear. Oh, you can't even spell my name right, Vic. I can't be insulted by someone who's illiterate. But they're one and the same, Phoenix. If there's you're gonna be a bear, you're gonna have a bear in the trash. Because you know that's what happens when you throw a perfectly good burger that you haven't finished eating in the trash can. It's also why you should never leave your sunroof open if you go to like a park that has bears. Because if they smell food, they'll like break your car. Bears be stonks. Reading or on that pug. You know, at the end of the day, Vic, I'm still more pog than you, and that's all that matters. I may not be the poggest, but I have like 0.25, and you're at least at like -6. So I'm winning. Leave yourself open everywhere. To be fair, it's only really a problem in like parks with like brown bears. Black bears will like try to like reach for whatever they can, but they won't usually like break your car. Brown bears will literally flip your car on the side and like break the windows to get in. At least they do in the States. I don't know about other places. You know, have bears yet. Don't worry. I'll put it in order. We'll airdrop y'all some brown bears real quick and easy. I wish I could like that do quick summons. Or at least like a full auto summon. Just have bubs. Yeah. Until them take extinction of it. I mean that doesn't mean anything. The horses that are not the horses too, but like the wolves that in the States aren't native to the States. Apparently the wolves for the US are much bigger. Apparently all the animals that like in the States are like way bigger than their. Oh no, we're definitely getting the skin though. We're not getting it today, but we'll definitely get it tomorrow. Because like apparently like what is it? The American elephant was like the size of a woolly mammoth, but it, you know without all the hair. But the American like apparent according at least last I read, I haven't kept up too much on like fossils and shit like that. But like the American wolf, like the stuff that was actually native to the Western Hemisphere for wolves, were like huge. Like we're talking like dire wolf fantasy sized like creatures. They don't exist anymore. Granted, wolves in general are still huge. Those are some big fucking animals. But yeah, you see, we'll just put a couple bears in UK and just walk around, do their thing. Ain't no thing. It'll be easy. Not native to the States. Technically, I'm not native to the States either. I wasn't born here. I did move here when I was really young, though. An adult wolf with a dog is hard to. I mean, I feel like part of that kind of like comes down to like what breeds you're used to. Because there's definitely some pretty big dog breeds, but if you just dealt with like regular dogs and you see a wolf and you're like, that's a dog, I'm like, you kind of dumb. That's a fucking wolf, bro. Those things are big and they mean a business. 6 feet in length, including the tail, and about 30 inches in height at the shoulder. Bro. That's fucking huge. There's not a lot of dog breeds of that size. I think, well, yeah, that's actually kind of something interesting. Because I mean, like you have like the wolfhounds, like there's a couple right there. There's a handful. German shepherds can actually get really big too, and stuff like that. But like when you think about like the really big like dog breeds, right? You're looking at like mastiffs, Rottweilers, Great Danes, Saint Bernards, like a lot of dogs that don't have the like pointed snout feature, which is kind of interesting when you think about how big like wolves actually are. You would think that there'd be more of them, but there aren't. Like a lot of them have the more like stunted muzzle look. Granted, to be fair, when I went to the to England to back when I was in like high school for Boy Scouts, the host family I stayed with had a German Shepherd Rottweiler mix. Fucking one of the biggest dogs I've ever seen in my life. But he had like the head of a German Shepherd, and he like looked like a wolf because the head was predominantly like black with a bit of the like reddish brown that you see. Like his color coding, the color of his coat was kind of similar to like a Rottweiler color. It was like black with like reddish brown, but like his body was built like he had the tail of a German Shepherd and the head of a German Shepherd. And it's just that dog was huge. Also, one of like probably the laziest dogs I've ever met in my life. One of the nicest too. Didn't even like look at me sideways at all whatsoever. I think I should just put Bubs as a quick summon. Actually, no, because I'm in dark, so that means he's ready from turn one. Never mind. That's not a good idea. Good general dog try name. Yeah. My dog, like, I don't know. My dog is a hoe. He'll bark at people, but like he doesn't bite people unless you back him in a corner in his cage. He's only bitten one person, and that was a friend of mine who he technically knew him when he was like a little puppy. And I was like, just leave him alone. And because like I went to go visit him, and I took the dog with me because I was like, well, it's been a while, so I might as well just take the dog because it'd been a couple years at the time since he'd seen the dog, so I took him. So like, not only was the dog kind of tired of being in the kennel in the car, he's now all of a sudden there's this big dude who's trying to like reach into the to his safe space because one of the big things we've done is like the kennel's like a safe space. But like, like you know, if I get annoyed with the dog and he just goes to his kennel, I'm like, all right, you fucking stay in there, and I just close it. Like I don't do anything. Or like I just leave that to do whatever. But like he was just like, no, it's fine, trust. I was like, he's going to bite you. Like you're going to be the first person he actually bites, and he did. But he doesn't really bite people. And then as soon as you scratch him like once or twice or give him a treat, he's like, yo, what's up? Give him a hoe now. Give him food. Except for I think my brother. I think my brother is the only person I've ever seen him like take a treat from and then still bark at him. My brother literally gave him a dog treat, and my dog took it and then looked at him with the treat in his mouth. Hasn't even started eating the treat, just with the treat in his mouth, and then barks at my brother and then walks off. And my brother's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I don't know. I guess you really are that ugly." Goodness gracious. That was funny. It was the first time I ever seen him do that. Granted, there was one dude when I was doing welding who like only person I've ever seen walk up to my dog and my dog's like, "Yo, what's up?" I was like, "Oh, shit." Never seen him do that before. That's mostly because my dog just doesn't like people. And he's like, I don't know you, I don't like you, don't talk to me. He's very like, I guess he'd be introverted. Or actually, no, he'd be antisocial if he was a person. All right, Phoenix, get some good rest in. Good hearing from you. Oh, but we still got another hour of grinding to go. Might we get it today then? We might get pretty close today for for getting the costume. All right, at least we'll successfully be able to get the costume in this guild war. I don't know how many points they're gonna require for like the next stage. Like I imagine it's gonna be pretty up there. But to be fair, stage one looks sick. I really like the look of the costume they've done. I really hope this whole thing where they add dodge to guild war bosses doesn't just become a permanent trend. It's such such a pain. Because it's literally the difference between killing this thing in like 3 turns and killing this thing in like 4 or 5 turns. Like it makes me want to cry. Also, it's kind of funny that like strike time kind of set me back. Cause like it would, the way it was setting up the burst was like pushing it too far forward, so then it would have too much HP left for it to do the dodgy thing. It was a bit more detrimental than it was anything else. Oh, I should have auto reserved those. Autos, autos. Oh man, I could not imagine having to try to farm for like this much if they hadn't for like Guild Wars if they hadn't like reduced full auto. Honestly, I definitely yeah, because like back when I did the one and only attempt at 40 boxing like on purpose. Was the had to manually click everything. It was suffering. I wanted to cry. It was pain. I don't know how people did it, honestly. I don't know. I knew a guy who would consistently 40 box every guild war at the time before they added like the full auto, even the semi auto stuff. And I was like, bro, how do you do it? He's like, I don't know, I'm crazy. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. Cause honestly, like I did it once and I swore it off. I was like, never. I was like, never again am I doing that, bro. And then they added full auto, and like I think last Guild Wars I almost 40 boxed it. Kind of glad I found this like lo-fi jazz. Well, it's called lo-fi jazz, but it's not really like jazz, but do enjoy it for the night times. Honestly, like yeah, no, I think people are gonna go more want like Bassett more than like Mars because I feel like the overall design also calls for more like will probably be more people like it because like Heck yeah, Heck it's kind of saucy, but she also has a pretty nice little like outfit to go with it with the dress and stuff. While Mars like I googled it and I was like all she got is them cheeks, a cool looking spear, and some armor. Though to be fair, they've worked with less, so who knows? I don't know. I would think it's pretty cool if they did that more, where they made more like Guild War bosses and stuff like that as playable. I don't know. I still like. I'm still of that opinion. I really want like. I really wish they would make more like take designs they already have and make that more playable than just off the cuff make a bunch of random stuff. Like to be fair, and it's not like it's bad. It's just that like again, I feel like players would be more like, oh, that's cool. That's that one boss. Oh, that's kind of sick. That's that one character from the story. Oh, that's like it feels so weird because so many other games do that. But I feel like Grand Blue used to, and then like at one point they're just like, fuck it, we'll just make whatever character we want, and just toss it in. It's like just put them in the story then. I don't know. It's so weird. Oh, I thought that was like a what you call it chakram, but no, it's just like a halo behind her head. Like I thought she had like a chakram in one hand and then the little like this thingy in the other hand. But no, I think that's just like a halo behind her head. Maybe potentially. I don't know. Yeah, because like it doesn't seem like it's connected to her hand. Well, it does and it doesn't. Oh, that reminds me. There was this gotcha game that like I'm kind of sad. I need to see if it like it was one I used to play a long time ago called Blood Brothers, which I honestly could not tell you the concept of the fucking game at all, but it had a gameplay style loop kind of similar to Darkest Dungeon, where you have like paths that you go down and you choose, and they had really really cool like character designs. But I know the like the Western version got shut down. Why is it deleted? Because I remember like I had played it for a decent amount, and then I like I stopped playing it, and then like one time I was like, oh man, I really want to like play that game again, and then when I looked into it, it was it had shut down, and I was sad. 'Cause I remember they made like a sequel. They made like a Blood Brothers 2, but it wasn't like as good because they changed a lot of the way the gameplay loops worked. At least I remember I didn't like it too much in comparison to the first one. The first one was a lot simpler. I just remember really liking the art style though. The art style was really good. And I had these like cool little events where you could like because I had gotcha, but then I had like really good characters that you could get from events. It's just you had to like grind it a lot to like repeatedly get copies of them. I don't know. I find myself being a little nostalgic to some of those older gotcha games. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I feel like it's probably just because they fell into the trap where they were like, they saw that what should we call it? Like I don't know why a lot of times it feels uh like some of the Eastern gotcha companies, like it feels like they feel the need to make a sequel for a game when they don't really need to make a sequel for the game. And then a lot of times they'll like divert money into the sequel, and then like the sequel will like dumpster, and then they don't like return the investment, so then it kind of like pulls their like it pulls the company down because it like putting out a new game is actually a pretty decent strain on a company. Like as an example, Final Fantasy 14 when it originally launched did really poorly, and I don't know of the like credibility behind it, but there's basically reports that if 14 hadn't bounced back, Square Enix might have had to file for bankruptcy because it had put that much of a strain on on the company as a whole because of how much like they had diverted resources into it. Now, I don't know the validity to that statement because Square Enix has a lot of like IP under their belt, and like they make us like a lot of money. So I don't know if they would have had to file for bankruptcy, but it probably would have put a decent sized dent like uh into their wallet if it had failed. But it didn't because Yoshi P came to save the day, and then so it's pretty good. But I feel like a lot of gotcha companies I've seen they do that to themselves. They'll have a pretty solid game, and then for some reason they'll decide to do a sequel. I'm assuming there's probably something, some sort of like metric that they go by, going like, well, we can't really uh we can't go by we're not seeing any growth here, blah 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 blah, and then they're like, hey, let's make like a sequel, and then they'll do like changes instead of just probably trying to find a way to make like the game itself work. Part of it's also due to the fact that like especially when you do like a this is why like global releases I don't think so I don't think are always the right move for games over just putting like an English like translation. Like for instance, I 110% think that if Grand Blue Fantasy had tried to do a global like launch, it wouldn't have succeeded. And this is coming from someone who played Grand Blue a little like, but I put a decent amount of time into it before I got the English translation. Like basically, I'd have there was a forum which sometimes still pops up when you search for like Grand Blue stuff. I don't know if it still does. I haven't seen it pop up in a while, but like there was a forum that you would go to because at the time the wiki was still pretty scuffed. Uh, that people would like basically there was a guy that would screen that they had screenshotted like every page, and they had like every weapon, and they would someone would be manually translating it from Japanese to English so that way you could like figure out like what you needed and stuff like that. And so, and I'm pretty sure they had to have a metric for like international stuff, because there's no way they're going to be like, well, let's just randomly translate it to English without any sort of like metric from, IP and stuff, like where they have people like connecting into the game from. And they, instead of doing like a global release, they're like, all right, we'll just translate the game to English, and that way you can play it in Japanese and English. And by and large, I think it was the smartest thing they ever did, honestly, because it's such a low investment to like translate a game versus let's basically make an entire other client that's for these servers, and then just like it's not even close to the same price point. And it's just like probably like the most pain part is probably the monies. Like I haven't tried like spending money on Grand Blue since I started using Skyleap, but basically before, when I was playing it on through Chrome on my phone, like that was the only way I could buy stuff, because then you went through Google Pay. Because if I remember correctly, I don't know now, but back then like Mobag, or however you pronounce the company name, didn't take like non-Japanese like credit cards and stuff like that. So like the only way to do it was through Google, because Google would do all the conversion stuff on their side. So because it would just look at your like wallet and be like, okay, and then take the money out. And so it was just like that was probably like the hardest point of doing it. But even then, like I think it was just the right move, and I think like more games should do that, right? Like if especially if you're like a really grindy game, or if you like, because like if you have the metric to tell like these are the IPs that are coming from these countries that are connecting to the game, I think you should be able to like. I have a feeling that you should have a metric that would tell you like where a lot of the like money was flowing from, and then be like, well, if they're spending a lot of money, the chances of them like wanting to respend the money in like like the global version, quote unquote, is pretty slim. Like to be honest, like there's players I knew for like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius when they came out with the War of the Crystals. Obviously, it came out in Japan like way earlier, because this was still during a time where like a lot of JP companies would put a mobile game out in Japan, and then they would put out like the global version like anywhere from like half a year to like 2 years later. And so I knew people that they had spent money on the JP version. And then when the global version came out, they just didn't care, because they're like, I spent like, two, three, 400, like, because these weren't like super whales. They were just people who, they were like guppies. I mean, to me, you tell me you spent like $500 on a gacha game, I'm giving you a weird look and an eyebrow raise. But like, in the grand scheme of things, like you spend like $500 on a gacha game, you're like barely a guppy. You're probably still an amoeba. And it's just like, but it's like they had no incentive to restart, because they're like, I can play the game anyway. I don't get locked out of it. They still take my money. I have all of my characters and all the grinding done on this. Like, why am I gonna restart from scratch for no reason? Like with absolutely zero incentive, aside from the fact that it's what, in English. Like they didn't care. Two of them were like half literate in Japanese anyway, so they really didn't care. And it's just like, not to mention that a lot of times in those games, it's like it's not that hard to play in a different language if you wait a little bit, because if other people like play it who also are like bilingual, they'll like either you'll do that where they'll translate it, or you'll just like navigate your way through like YouTube and find the videos and basically try to like learn more or less the lingo and put two and two together of like, okay, this is who I'm supposed to be using, these are the things I'm supposed to take, these are the gear I'm supposed to put on the characters, and boom, you're done. Like it's really not that difficult for most games. There's definitely a couple of games where it's not that easy, but it's definitely doable. Like I've done it. I've played a decent amount of gacha games that didn't have an English option. They were Japanese only, because I was curious about them. But it's just like, I feel like more of these gacha games that have global releases that then like go under, like, would probably see more success if they just translated their game to English, just gave it an English option. Well, just gave it like a language option, right? Like it doesn't have to be English. It could be English, Spanish, French, Italian, you know. Like, you just look at the metric of where people are like playing your game from, and then you just go with that. English is obviously like an easy one to do because it's like it's a language that's used in a lot of countries, and so it's just like I don't know. I feel like if I was in charge of a gotcha game and it like and they're like, well, we have a lot of traffic from overseas, I'd be like, oh, from where? Like, say I was like doing a gotcha game and say like in the States, and it's doing well in the States, and then they're just, and I'll just like, how's our, like, do we have any metrics overseas? And they're like, yeah. And I go, from where? They go, oh, Japan. And it's not like a global release thing. Cause that's the other thing, right? Like, if the weird thing is that if it releases in the West, it usually releases with servers like globally. At least from what I've seen. There's probably are gotcha games that are Western and don't have servers in like the East. But for the most part, like most of the gotcha games I've seen that have released in the West, which is, to be fair, pretty few. Pretty few. Most of them are like trading card games and stuff like that. But I honestly couldn't name one off the top of my head right now that I play at the moment. I've definitely played some pretty obscure ones though. When I looked up the company, they were like West Coast, so they're definitely out there. But I think for the most part, the games I play, which tend to be leaned towards like RPGs, especially like turn-based RPGs, tend to be more of like a Japan, China companies are the ones that make them. Mostly Japan. China does a lot of like actiony mobile games nowadays, but Japan still makes a good amount of like turn-based gotcha games. And I mean, it also has like IPs that I'm interested in. Like, part of me wants to pick up there is a Monster Hunter mobile game. I am not talking about Pokemon, Monster Hunter Go that they did, that Niantic did. I'm talking about like there is a mobile game for Monster Hunter that has gotcha and everything that I've tried. It really wasn't like that bad. I just had no idea what the fuck I was doing because everything was in Japanese. And like at the time I was doing it because I was just messing around because I think the mobile game has a weapons exclusive to the mobile game. That sounded kind of cool and I wanted to fuck around with it. And then eventually I was like, why am I going to do a gotcha game about Monster Hunter when I own Monster Hunter games and I just like to play Monster Hunter? But it's just like actually, on that note, little sidetrack. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't do a gotcha game based on Monster Hunter stories. I feel like that's like one of the easiest ones you could do a gotcha game based off of, rather than like the mainline series. But who knows? Maybe it's in the plan in the future. But it's just like I feel like I just look at the metrics and be like, well, we have a lot of like traffic from over there, and then it would probably be a case of like, is it enough traffic to like constitute, you know, host like relaunching the game over there and like hosting a server over there and blah 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 and like setting up like a thing over there, or should we just like translate the game to Japanese and see how that works? Because I mean, part of the success though is that it is browser based Grand Blue, but I definitely think that like Princess Connect, World Flipper, Rage of Bahamut, like all of those games, I think would have probably been like fine if they had just translated the JP version and just gave it an English option to play. Because like Princess Connect was another one that was very similar to Grand Blue when I first played it, where a lot of people were playing that on the Japanese version. There was a lot of information. It was not hard at all whatsoever to find information on Princess Connect. Like it was so easy. Like I fired up the JP version because I got curious, right? Especially after they did the Princess Connect collab with Grand Blue Fantasy. I was like, all right, I guess I'll check it out, see what's going on over there. Because it's more of like an idol battler in a way. It's not completely, but I'd say it's more idle battley than this is. But it's just like I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Bro, I went to like the Reddit, and in like 30 minutes, I knew who was the best units to go for, who were the worst units to go for, what banners you want to go for, what you want to build, how you want to build the character, how you play the game, what buttons meant what. Like I could play the whole game. I did. I played the whole game for like 2 months. But the funny part was that I played it for 2 months, and then they announced that there was going to be a global version, and then I was like, oh, okay, fuck it, then I'll just wait till that comes out. And then unfortunately, the global version came out, and lo and behold, most of the consumer base that probably would have kept that version afloat had already spent a bunch of money on the JP version, so they didn't play that version. So it went way of the dodo, and unfortunately closed down last year. But it's just really weird. Oh, it was also there was also the fact that they did the weird thing with Crunchyroll. I forgot that too. I forgot that they did the weird like team up with Crunchyroll to do the the release for it. But that probably has a little bit more to do with it than just the money stuff. Because Crunchyroll, unfortunately, like from what I've understood, like a lot of the gachas, I don't know now, but because like at the time I was playing, what is it? Was it Brave Frontier? Yeah, I think Brave Frontier is the one that got picked. No, 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 the other one. It's not Brave Frontier. It's the other one. Shit, what was it called? I saw like I got ads for it recently. What was it called? It's like kind of similar to Brave Frontier. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like it was a game. Like they recently had a Overlord collab. Grand Summoners, that's what it was called. Grand Summoners, I'm thinking got like I think that got picked up by Crunchyroll too. And apparently, from what I understand, Crunchyroll does like some weird shenanigans on their stuff, and it kind of tends to cause issues for the development and stuff like that, and it tends to cause problems, and like they tend to slow down pipeline stuff. At least that's what people say. I don't know. I don't know enough of the back end of stuff because I'm not too interested in that kind of shenanigans. But like Grand Summoner is another game I used to play a lot, but I got real tired of playing it. One, because I was spending less time on my phone because I was spending more time at home. I used to play it a lot when I was like in university and technical school, and I wasn't at home all the time. But like the more I spent time at home, the less I play mobile games, unless I can play them on my computer easily, aka Grand Blue Fantasy. Which is why like the Google Play Store has basically a virtual machine that you can initiate to play gotcha games on your computer. Which, to be honest, like I kind of wish they would figure out a way to do a slightly less pain in the ass way of turning it on. Because in order to actually do it, at least the last time I tried, I don't know if they changed it. The last time I tried to do it, because I was actually thoroughly intrigued, because I was like, oh shit, I can play Alchemy Stars on my computer. Because BlueStacks like kind of sucks. I've tried BlueStacks on a number of occasions, and that shit always crashes like a motherfucker. But I went to go try it, and they're like, "Oh, you need to turn on this setting in your BIOS," and I'm like, "Bro, I am way too fucking lazy to fucking try to do the fight my stupid computer to turn on the BIOS because sometimes it doesn't like actually register the key press because it loads kind of weird sometimes." And I was just like, whatever. And that's when I realized that it's just using a virtual machine to run it. Because that's what BlueStacks technically is. It's a virtual machine that runs on your computer. So, the day they figure out how to like make that a little easier. I mean, to be fair, some have, right? Because like I saw what is it, Final Fantasy Crisis? Whatever. There's a gotcha game or something. I had a Monster Hunter collab recently. It's the only reason I know. I think there's like a Steam version of it that you can play through Steam. So there's definitely been companies that have worked around it and stuff like that. I installed it on my phone to do pulls for the Monster Hunter banner. I didn't play a single lick of that fucking game. All I did was I logged in. I used whatever free crystals they gave me to pull on the Monster Hunter banner. And then I had like a daily Monster Hunter banner that you can pull for free, and I was pulling on that. And then I think like the other day I got fed up with it and I just uninstalled it because I just like I'm never gonna play that game. I'm just never gonna play that game. But it's just like there's definitely gotcha games I'd like to get back into, but it's just like if I'm not spending time in my computer, I'm doing something around the house, walking the dog, or I'm not in my house and I'm doing something that I can't just sit there and play on my phone. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's just like a me thing. Oh, what? Dark shoulders. Because there's definitely some gacha games that would be pretty nice. Because like I think that's part of the reason why like I mean I like Star Rail. It's just that between the relic farming, which was a lot less monotonous because you can auto it, but definitely in Star Rail my team's not strong enough to auto just about anything. And then I know like and all the dialogue you got to go through, it kind of kills my drive to play Star Rail. But I still do think Star Rail is probably one of the better turn-based gacha games out there. I like their take on the combat system a little bit. It's obviously not like completely different, but it's still a pretty nice little change of pace to it. Um, but like for instance, Alchemy Stars is a gacha game I want to get back to into. I want to play it. It was a really fun game. It was a really interesting mechanic where it was like a really different take on like the connect the colors. Because the way it works is you have this like square that is then divided in multiple other squares that are they'll have different colors. And I think it was like what yellow, red, green, blue were the four colors, and you could like chain them together, right, to then make your you know units of that color that you step over will deal that damage. And then there was like two colored units and stuff like that, and there's abilities to change color tiles and stuff like that. Like it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I played it a decent amount in like its first year of release, and then like again, I just didn't play it. Was because I'm gonna be on my computer. I'm just gonna play a computer game. I'm not gonna play a mobile game. Princess for Stars get you with the faster clip. Ironically enough, I think the only people whose like friend summons I've used is like Yuna and Slinky, because they had a Scythe girl who made one of the like weekly boss fights go really quickly because they had them built pretty. I don't think I used anybody else's. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, because my team can handle mostly everything else I could do. But like, I don't know. Star Rail is definitely a game I'd like to get back into, but it kind of has an issue where like I don't really care too much for most of the characters. I mean, the one Robo lady is like pretty cool, but unfortunately, I got caught up playing other things when they had like the pick ticket for the 4 stars. So I didn't get her, and I don't feel like doing gacha stuff for anything that's not a 5 star. And then it's like the sheer amount of dialogue and like questing I'd have to go through, and then like relic farming, and then simulated universe farming. Like when I just think about how much stuff I have to do, I just don't want to. Like I really don't. I mean, it's the main reason I haven't been Magna grinding in Grand Blue. Is because I'm just like I don't feel like grinding right now. The caveat being though is just like I feel like the grinding in Grand Blue is like more forgiving in a way when you're not like up to date on it, because like my dark grid right now, like obviously I need two more weapons to 4 star, and then it's basically done for now until they release like another like grindable weapon that's good. But that's not, they usually don't do that stuff pretty like close, like back to back. So it's just like, well, with like and to be fair, that's just a way of like how the game works, right? Like in Grand Blue, it's a grid, right? So you're not itemizing a singular character with a singular weapon. You are grinding for items that you then put in a grid, which then that grid buffs your entire party. Which, to be fair, I don't think any gacha game I've played has ever done that. Also, again, like there's no, I have never played it. Like none of the gacha games I have played work that way, where like your party's power comes from like a singular source, and it kind of like really cuts down on like the farming stuff, because like Star Rail, right? You have to farm your relic sets, then you have to farm the, you know, simulate the universe to get the little chain and like ornament stuff, like, and then you have to do that, and then you have to farm for the specific like stats that you want on all of those pieces of gear, and then that's for one character, and then you need to do that for multiple characters, and that's if you're just being casual and ignoring the like memory of chaos thing, which then at that point you need to do that for multiple different characters, because you need at least like what, two teams, like, which is then dependent on the like the effects, right? Maybe you'll want to like change your teams up and stuff, because it's not like a case of, oh, I can just have these two teams, I can use them the whole time, because sometimes there's going to be effects that maybe they're not very good for, and you kind of won't get the full rewards, like, so then you have to go grind this other character and do them up. While in like Grand Blue Fantasy, it's like, okay, the weapons don't have RNG stats, right? If I get a Colossus stat from Magna 3, it's going to have the Exalto stat on it, plus all the other stats that come with it. If I get the Katana for Magna 3 from Celeste, it's going to have tempering and all the others. Like, you know, it's like the weapon you get is the weapon you get. Now, it's a bit different because you have to get multiples of those weapons, right? On top of like the materials. So it's not like it's a. I'm not trying to say like the grind is less like less important, or not less important, like easier to stomach. I don't really think it is. I think like if it comes down to amount of time spent to like grind, it's probably pretty similar. It's just that like in Grand Blue, you can just hoard up resources and then do it when you feel like it. As like I have enough elixirs that I'm pretty sure I could probably play this game all day, every day, just hosting my own stuff, and enough berries to just go and do backup requests that I doubt I'll run out, like, even after doing that for like a year, because they just give out so much of it. But like, and they've done some changes in Star Rails for that, but I think like it's just the fact that like you can put in a lot of time to get the weapons you need, and you get the one grid, and you go, ah, but that's for one element. It's like, yeah, but at the same point, like that one element supports like a shit ton of characters, right? Like I don't like I feel kind of punished in a way when I play a game, and this isn't just a Star Rail problem either, by the way. This is for a lot of other gacha games where you have to like grind for specific gear with RNG stats involved for a specific character. Um, I feel punished whenever they release a good character that can't use any of the equipment that I have already, which is often because they have to like, you know, they can't just keep vomiting out the same kit over and over again, because then people get bored and they don't spend money on the game anymore. And it's just like, it feels more punishing than it feels like rewarding, right? Like for instance, I mean, I'm gonna use it a lot because it's the only real current like I like thought I can get out, right? Like Genshin, I probably would have pulled for Navia if I had like known the banner was out, because like I really like her design. She's a Claymore user. She like I didn't find out till after that she had fucking artillery cannons for her alt. Like I like she has a fucking gunbrella, for crying out loud. Like it's pretty cool. I'd be down. But then there's a problem, right? Because I wouldn't be able to do anything with her. I can't farm the. Well, actually, I don't know what sets she used, but like I don't have a set for her. I'd have to farm a geo set for her, whether she uses something from the new areas or not. Uh, I'd have to do the story all the way up to Fontaine to then be able to farm for the items that I need for. Well, actually, I don't know if I need to do the quest, because I know Sumeru I could just run over. I don't know how. I don't know if any of those like. But basically, like my point is that like, you know, I feel like punished that I took a break from the game and then they released like a new character, and it's just like in Grand Blue Fantasy, I don't really feel punished for that, right? Like I can take a break from the game and I can come back, and then like my they're like, oh, here's a new character release. I'm like, oh shit, I want that. So I spark the character, or I just pull for the character and get lucky. Um, and then it's like, let's say it's a dark character, and then it's just like, oh man, I didn't upgrade my grid to like the highest status, but I can still clear plenty of old content, or plenty of the content I was already clearing with the character I have, with the new character. I can just use it. Like, you know, I don't have to like go and regrind for stuff before I can use. Oh, that's not even talking about how you have to regrind for materials to, like, you know, it's just It's just a case of I think there's like too much grinding in those games sometimes. Too much grinding and not enough time like being able to enjoy like what you have in a way. And like to be fair, like in a way, Grand Blue is the same because it's like there's a reason that Grand Blue Fantasy is called Grind Blue Fantasy by people that play it because the grind never ends. It's just that usually you're grinding for something else, right? It's like if I'm not grinding for Magna 3, I'm going to be grinding for, well, if I, like after I'm done grinding for Magna 3, next thing I'm going to be grinding is, whatchamacallit, would probably be Revens. And if not that, it would probably be Arcarum. And if not that, then it would have to be some sort of high low or like some high raid that has a chance for an Eternity Sands to drop. And if not that, then maybe gold bar farming. And if not that, then I'd still need to finish uncapping all of my Opus weapons. And it, like, you know, like there's stuff to continuously grind. It's just that I feel it's different because like Grand Blue, like a lot of the weapons just they don't go out of style very quickly, right? Like, fuck, when did Magna 2 come out? I need to look this up. It's definitely been a couple of years. Keep it right. Are you gonna tell me when it released? Based on drop reports done after. Well, I mean, last updated. Well, I'm not gonna worry about that. But 2020 though is one. Well, it's one of the only metrics I can see for the Shiva thing. I don't know if that's when it actually dropped, but even then, that's 4 years, right? Like, ain't even then. That's a terrible example because like fire's fucking weapons have been until Magna 3 have been the same damn weapons since I first started playing this game like 7, 8 years ago. Fucking ancient twigs. They dropped out of the meta for like 2 seconds and then they full limit break them and they came right back. We didn't even have time to enjoy the sticks were gone before they're like, psych. And they brought them right back as the fucking premier weapons. But as soon as you were done with that, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. You know, you can just honky dory rock off. You know, go over. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Beat up fucking the wind dragon for the beaks. You know, like stuff like that. Like it's just like it's different. Like it's something that like if you're not in it, I feel like you know you probably can't like you can't tell. But once you get into the grind and you kind of like get into the rhythm, you start realizing that like Grand Blue Fantasy, like I don't know, it doesn't feel like the game punishes me when I like step back from like actively grinding the game every day. Meanwhile, a lot of the gacha games that come out nowadays, I feel like they punish me if I don't play the game every day. And it's like, I don't like that because sometimes I just don't want to fucking grind, right? Sometimes I just want to sit there and do nothing. I want to sit there and read some manhwa. I want to, you know, I don't know, watch a movie, listen to some music, turn my brain off, you know? Sometimes I want to go do the pew pews. Maybe I don't want to do gacha games. Maybe I just want to play Borderlands at night or something like that, which I do want to do a playthrough of the Borderlands one, the last one they did, the Tiny Tina's, basically the D&D one. I have that. I've never finished the full playthrough of it. But that's also because the last time I tried to stream it, it was really stuttery for the stream. So I have to see if now maybe with like all the settings and having, you know, a better graphics card and stuff and kind of being a bit more aware of it, like if it'll like stream a little better. That is part of the backlog to play. But you know, sometimes I just want to play something else. And like sometimes it just feels like I'm punished when I do that in some of the current like gacha games. I think it's one of the main reasons I don't play a lot of the newer gacha games. And it's not just exclusively to Genshin and Star Rail. The only reason I mention those two is because it's the most like I guess it's like the more well known ones and the one that I know the most information of because plenty of people I know play it, and multiple of the, like, well, not multiple, but a couple of them be like, oh hey, by the way, this is nudge nudge. Well, actually, by couple I mean it's like one person. Sometimes it'd be like, by the way, this person got released. You know, you might want to come look at it. You know, that kind of thing. But it's just like Like I don't like it. Well, I guess it's one of the reasons why I don't play subscription based MMOs. Like I'd love to play Final Fantasy 14 again, to be honest. But like when I'm spending $15 a month and then I don't play the game like for a week, you know, if I want to play something else, like I feel like I just wasted my money. Did I waste my money? No, probably not, because you know I'm probably still gonna play for the other 3 weeks of the month. But like sometimes, you know, I don't want to do it. Like right now, right? I'm trying to work through my backlog, and unfortunately, like a lot of the games I have take more than like a month to beat. Because like for instance, I was planning on taking a break from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because like honestly, like oh my god, at the end of stream during the day when I couldn't even finish the side quest because they took Morag out of my party. I don't know why I called her Morag out of my party. I literally just about threw my Joy Cons across the room because I was so fed up with that game. But to be fair, you know, it's got some shit on it. But we also haven't like fought anything since I changed it down to easy. Uh, Even though I don't know, does easy changing to easy affect the loot? I don't remember if it affects the loot or it just affects the difficulty. But anyway, now like looking at the schedule, I'm not going to. We're gonna play Xenoblade 2 for the rest of this week. At the very least, tomorrow and Friday for sure. I don't know. Thursday, well, Thursday no. Thursday I need because I need to do Apex as a new event. I can get the free shit. But like starting next week is Xenoblade's going on the back burner because First Ascendant releases on the 2nd of July. So we're gonna play that for the first week. Probably it'll probably be like day and night because of the fact that Guild Wars finishes in a couple days. Um, and then July 9th is Last Epoch. A new update comes out and that has dropped. So we're gonna play that for sure. Like regardless of how I feel about First Ascendant, we're playing the shit out of that for sure. But uh I don't know. Wait, do we have like an actual day? Let me check. I'm trying to check the next like Path of Exile if there's like a date for the next league. I mean, the supporter packs are available. Wait, are these the new ones or are these the ones from this one? I think these are the new ones. But we might have a date. Oh no, it's supposed to be in July. It's supposed to be the new Path of Exile league. So depending on how I'm feeling with like Last Epoch, maybe we'll swap to that a little bit. It kind of also just depends on when they do it. So like July, we have a lot of stuff is coming out like back to back to back. So looking pretty forward to that. But I still also want to work through my backlog. So, you know, we'll have to see how it feels to like kind of balance like two of those together. Like some of that, because I want to play like Horizon Zero's Dawn, even though that's going to get put on the back burner. I'm actually going to play Atlas Fallen. Is going to be the next game we play because I really want to try that game out. It was a game that I was looking forward to when it released, and then it released. Unfortunately, it didn't do very well. It had, like I saw a lot of issues, and I decided to wait to get it on sale. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then recently, I saw a video that was talking about how they released this like a video from the company talking about how they did a free update, changing a bunch of stuff, adding a bunch of stuff. And from looking at like I haven't seen any YouTube videos on it, oddly enough. I had Wayfinder videos pop up when they did the Echoes update, which is the only reason I even know about that. But like for whatever reason, that one didn't show up, even though I watched a bunch of those videos for the new stuff. But it was on sale for like 50% off, so I bought it. So we're gonna play that after probably in August, depending on how much time I spend doing. Like I might do a thing where we do like Last Epoch Path of Exile at night, and then I'll do like Atlas Fallen during the day kind of thing, just to play through, just to see how it feels, and then kind of go back to working through a backlog. It's kind of like the general plan I have. Like July, like I just like realizing like rattling it off. July's kind of packed for games, so we'll see how that goes. But it's just like you know, and so like when I mention all of this, it makes it even harder for me to like play a game like that's like Genshin and Star Rail, where it wants me to play every single day and like do this stuff like not necessarily like every day, but like a good number of times during the week and stuff like that. Like it's hard to play a game like that when I have so much other shit that like to be honest, like I mentally rank higher. Like Diablo 4 for me ranks higher than Genshin and Star Rail. Like if that says anything, because that's the type of game I enjoy playing. I like playing Diablo style games. It helps me turn my brain off. I can kind of do some stuff. It looks cool. We go bang bang, boom boom, get the loot, bada bing, bada boom, we good. But like and it's like a game that you can play for like a week or 2 weeks or like a month. And then you can call it good. And you just wait for the next time, right? Because it doesn't really matter. Because when the next season starts, everybody starts from scratch anyway. So who cares? So it's just like, and then I can fill in the gap when I play my backlog games and stuff like that. So this will be the last one. We'll see what we get with like the how many honors we've gotten today. I have a feel. Well, we'll definitely get the skin tomorrow for sure. But yeah. So it's just how I feel. It's not that it's a bad game. I think like I honestly like Genshin. Like probably about I'd say 80 to 85% of Genshin I think is pretty fun. I like the world design is really cool. The character designs are really nice. Um, I like the aesthetic. I think it's pretty cool. I think their fights are kind of dog shit, but it is what it is. And I don't really like the domain system. Is what it is. And no skip dialogue button, but that's kind of beating a dead horse. Star Rail is kind of the same thing. I like about 80 to 85% of the game. Stuff like that. But it's just the problem is like the 10 to 15% that I have to deal with that I don't like, I have to deal with on an almost consistent basis. So it's like I don't really care for it. Then it's not like these other games don't have things I don't care for, right? Like Path of Exile kind of annoys me that I can't just take a melee build that I enjoy playing and then go and do content with it and be able to clear even just most of the content with it because balancing. But hopefully the next update does it. Last Epoch, to be honest, the only reason Last Epoch like was so short lived. Well, I mean, I think I played it for like a month and a half. Was predominantly because one, I had played a lot of it like in early access, like leading up, like before, like not so close to when it released, but still close enough. And I was thinking like there was something else that updated or something new that came out like pretty close after that. And so I was like, the stuff they introduced new was kind of cool, but it wasn't enough to kind of like hold my attention. But this new stuff seems pretty interesting. And there's a couple of ideas in my head that I want to try out. But it was also just like the kind of like the animations were a little off, at least for the melee ones. Like I don't know, there's something about like the melee weapons that I like the animations in it, like kind of I was just like it wasn't as smooth as like Path of Exile and like Diablo is, but it's definitely something that can get polished over time. Because I mean, to be fair, Path of Exile's like animations when that shit was new was horrendous. That shit was bad. We're done. We could have it today. I would need to do 18 more runs. Oh, hey, I'm kind of helping. How many tokens do I have? 26,000 sheets. Holy shit. Who am I? What's today? Tuesday? I'm debating if I want to like finish this out today. It would probably take another like 30 minutes. Um, nah, we'll do it tomorrow. Because we definitely get that tomorrow in like the first, what, hour? For sure, at least. Or at most. Man, we really pumped today though. I think this might be the most I've gotten in one day. Oh, this also means I don't have to do like a lot of extra grinding. Actually, this means I don't think I have to do any extra grinding really. So I'm just gonna farm the 95 because we have 20 of these, which is really nice. Granted though, like what, or 10 of those? Yeah, 10 of those came from the missions. Oh well, I mean that's still pretty good. For 3 hours of grinding, we like doubled our chests of good fortune. Not bad. I'll take it. Acceptable. I plan on doing these like tomorrow. Like tomorrow when we finish up the last like 3 hours of farming, we'll do all the pulls. But yeah, so we'll wrap it up there. Pretty good little grinding time. I like to be honest, I like this. I like having like a couple of days of the night stream of like not playing a game. Like cause like with Grand Blue, especially when it's like Unite and Fight and stuff like that, I can just like full auto it and just call it good. It helps me like to be honest, like even when I don't talk about it, I like brainstorm, try to like plan out what I want to do for like the next couple days or next couple weeks. Usually I plan like what I want to play for the next couple weeks. One go. But yeah, so that will be it for the stream. Thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Just again, reminder, if you would like to, the Discord is now open, so feel free to join in and say hello. But thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. If it is early in the day for you, have a good day. If it is late in the day for you, I hope you rest well. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and I do see you all again in the next one. Bye bye.